Hey now, ladies and gentlemen. Hey now, hey now. Hey now, hey now, and a hey now, and a hey now. Hey now, and a hey now. Hold on, type something out. I know this is so unprofessional. I was trying to remember to tell AJ to show you the split screen thing. I meant to text it earlier. By the way, Damian Mitchell, what a wonderful guy. And and Trish was so right. What a deserving guy.
Yes.
I can't think of anybody. The fact that he went on, because it would have been really a much different tone if he would have gone on there and ended up like the gay dude or the librarian and walked away with, $500.
Yeah.
But the fact that he was such a big winner and won that trip that is now going to be their honeymoon, he's such a deserving guy. And the fact that I don't think about this because we just, we know people like we know people. Damian really is the type of guy that's just never in a bad mood. He lights up a room when he comes in, and I wish I was that way. I wish I was able to do that and just take my problems and, shove them in my back pocket. Because like this morning, and I talked to you about this, Bert, I woke up with the most crippling anxiety that I don't know, where it came from or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm fine now, but some days you just wake up and you're just, all out of sorts. And if Damien said, I woke up and I had this, and this guy, you'd never believe it. You'd be like, no, not you. He's never got any problems, man. He's just always a happy guy.
Well, I used to talk to him a lot because our schedules would coincide. And he would, he went through some rough times.
Yeah.
But just the way he would handle it, he wouldn't let it change who he was.
Never complained about it.
Mm-mm.
Never was like, oh my God, I got this and this, and he's just a good guy, man. So glad for him. So happy for what we now have dubbed the Diamond Damien.
Yes.
Which you've got a picture of him you're going to be posting, right?
Yes, I do.
This is really good. It is really good. David said, what show was Damien on? It was Wheel of Fortune. He was on Wheel of Fortune last night. In L.A., I didn't realize it was out in L.A. I thought
I was wondering. It sounded kind of strange that you kept talking about New York.
Well, I don't know.
Hollywood is the place where all the game shows are. I think it used to be New York way back in the day, and then started matriculating over to Hollywood.
I'm trying to think. I was looking at says winning money on a game show, and I'm not trying to pry in his business, but I was Googling it to see what it is. Winning money on a game show in Los Angeles is subject to a federal income tax of 37%, and California state income is up to 13%. As game show winnings are treated as ordinary income, a 24% federal withholding tax
it bumps you up into a bracket temporarily.
It's often deducted immediately with further taxes owed, potentially totaling nearly half of your winnings. Though California does not tax state lottery winnings, but that's different. Game show winnings are considered regular income. So it is probably about 50%, but still, half of that is, it's half of that plus a trip that was worth $10,000. And I don't think they can tax a trip, right?
I don't
if
see how.
If they do, I would assume the Wheel of Fortune pays for it. But even if they do tax, like you've got to pay extra. I mean, the trip, I guess, would be subjected to the taxes in Panama, which are probably next to nothing. So, anyway.
I don't see how that they could do it because they're basically acting as the travel agent and that pays for everything.
Yeah.
So there's no direct cash being sent to Damien.
Yeah. This is anyway, good for him. LJ says, got a question for Damien. This whole time I've been listening to the show. I did not know he was from Maplesville. He's right down the way from where my wife and family are from. How do you hide it? You don't sound like you're from Chilton County. Maybe related. They may be related. Congratulations, big dog. He does. I mean, Damien's got kind of a little bit of a country accent, but it's nothing crazy. And in radio, I think if you've got, I think radio kind of chips away at any kind of thick accent that you might have, because I think growing up, I probably sounded pretty country, and then just over the years, I got rid of it a little bit, but I still got some of it. I'm still a redneck in some aspects.
Well, you must be who you are.
Yeah, yeah.
If you have an accent, then be proud of it. Like I feel very bad that I lost my accent several years ago.
What kind of accent?
It was a North Carolina accent, and I no longer have it, and I'm really sad about that. About having the perfect accent, I guess, is no accent.
You sound like you're picking up a new accent, actually.
No, I'm who I am. Y'all deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Anyway, let's hit the phone lines for a moment.
Yeah,
205-545-9950. I'll touch back on the mail-in ballot thing, and just Justice Alito actually blasted the idea of endless counting of mail-in ballots, which I thought was really good. I've got that and a lot more to get to. Richard the Cop's on the line, though. Richard the Cop, what's up?
Hey, I had a girl I worked with in Oklahoma City that went on The Price is Right, won the Showcase Showdown about 10 years ago. And she had a trip. She had all of that. And they taxed her. She paid for years on that because of the monetary value of it. When you win, like if you were to win one of the big prizes on the Publishers Clearinghouse, it wasn't money. You're going to pay taxes on it because it is not like winning a lotto, but it's not like winning gambling, but you pay taxes on it.
Yeah. So I think probably whatever the value of that trip is, then they'll just say, well, it's subjected to X number of taxes.
Yeah.
And you'll have to pay for it. Which still, I got, in Damien's position, they've already got money allotted for the wedding. And so you just take that money and pay the taxes, and you're probably still saving a ton of money. So.
Oh, yeah. And I missed it live last night. I'm going to watch it on Hulu tonight. They will stream it tonight on Hulu.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing. Now, if we can just get John Bird on The Bachelor, we'll be doing good.
Oh, that would be so good.
They've got one for older folks.
The Silver Bachelor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to call me the Gold
Streak.
Bachelor.
John come in there wearing his big player chain hanging down his neck.
Oh,
hat
yeah.
turned sideways. his
TikTok
pants hanging out.
jacket, man, I'd be ready to go.
Dr. Dingaling.
Good to hear your daddy's doing good, my friend. I meant to check on you before you came back here, so I didn't get the chance.
Yeah, I appreciate it. He's doing well.
All right, y'all have a good day, boys. I got to go back to hauling bodies.
See you, buddy. There's Richard the Cop. And, I'm not, again, I asked him. He didn't want to talk about it, so I'm not trying to pry in his business.
They probably told him you can't. That's what I bet.
Maybe. It's just such a ripoff. Like, if they should do these game shows in places like Arkansas, or you do them out in LA and you do them in New York, and essentially you just, you get ripped off at the end of the day. It's dumb. Liberal states are dumb. Anyway, yesterday, Supreme Court was hearing oral arguments. Well, before I get into that, I really wanted to tell you about Deep South Construction Pros, because I love these guys. Talking about home improvements, as I was doing chores over the weekend and just doing my thing, and we were doing this, that, and the other. You're always reminded, and married people know this in particular, you're constantly talking about what needs to be done. You're talking about, hey, we need to get this done. And sometimes it may be, hey, we want to do this new project, or maybe it's maintenance on the house. As homeowners, there always seems to be something going wrong. But in the grand scheme, out of things that are going wrong at your home, there's certain things that need to be put at the top of the priority list, such as your roof or, other things such as your foundation and moisture in your basement, moisture in your crawl space, because that ultimately leads to much bigger problems, not just mold, but foundation issues and everything else. And a lot of reasons there could be a lot of different reasons that cause this. And you're not going to know what those reasons are until you get the pros from Deep South Construction Pros down there. Could be irrigation problems on the outside, water pooling up in your yard that ultimately leaks down there. You know the telltale signs. It's the musty, moldy smell in your basement that you get when it rains, or it sticks around. It's just it's not just a regular basement smell. That's what you need to know. There's something going wrong. There's something happening, and to get that solved, you basically need a waterproofing job done under your house. And once you get this done, you're not going to have that problem anymore. You're not going to have to worry about the black mold or the this or the that or the upcoming foundation problems, all of which tie back to that very thing. Deep South Construction Pros can get it taken care of. And what I love about these guys is what I always tell you, they're Alabama born and raised. This is an Alabama company with Alabama roots, giving a local impact on their community, their neighbors. They're taking care of you guys because this is their home as well. So if you got questions, if you don't understand the process, if you've never been through this before, and you just want some answers as to what you need to do next, I want you to call these guys. Here's the number, 256-305-1854. That's 256-305-1854. And online, DeepSouthConstructionPros.com. DeepSouthConstructionPros.com. So real quick, I told you this lawsuit challenging the mail-in ballots was filed by the RNC and the Libertarian Party of Mississippi. As crazy as that sounds. Conservative Justice Samuel Alito, though, blasted the endless counting of mail-in ballots yesterday, saying, quote, "We have lots of phrases that involve two words, the second of which is day. Labor Day, Memorial Day, George Washington's birthday, Independence Day, birthday, and Election Day." He said, "They are all particular days. So if we start with that, I have nothing more to look at than the phrase Election Day. I think this is the day in which everything is going to take place. It's a day. It's not election week. It's not election month. It's not election year. It's election day. And so mail-in voting has to be restricted to only the people that must have the mail-in voting. And mail-in voting shouldn't be an option. It should be a last resort. And it should be extremely, extremely limited. The other justices appeared skeptical during the oral arguments as well, saying Chief Justice John Robertson and Amy Coney Barrett each asked questions indicating they were concerned about how a decision invalidating the deadlines for late arriving ballots could affect other election rules, including those allowing for early voting. The RNC and the Trump administration have argued that under the federal statuses, setting a uniform day for the elections is for President and Congress. Election day is the day the ballot box closes. And that goes back to the idea that if your ballot comes in late, it just doesn't count. It is on you to get it in the mail in time. And that's it. The problem we had in 2020 and even in 2022 was that activist judges were making last-minute rulings saying, oh, yeah, this particular municipality or this particular state, y'all can go ahead and keep counting ballots. Y'all can go ahead and keep accepting ballots because this happened or that happened or that and that. I don't care what the circumstances are. The rule needs to be election day. And then if it doesn't get in by election day, then tough-ish. Life happens. Sometimes your vote's not going to count. It's just going to happen. No need to be changing rules in the 11th hour. That's the kind of stuff that's got to stop. The AP put out a story about it. It's basically the same thing. I won't read it for you, but the Supreme Court is likely going to issue a ruling on this in June, and that will absolutely affect the upcoming midterms. Let's hope and pray that the Supreme Court rules in the favor of democracy. UnderdogFantasy.com, and the Underdog Fantasy app. Man, with all this talk of the big tournament, Why have you not gotten in the game? Have you done it yet? Have you done it? And if you have, are you winning money? I want you to let me know. Let me know when you'll win money. Seriously, though, as we got Sweet 16 coming up, Elite 8, we got all these different games happening this weekend, next weekend. I mean, we're getting down to the wire. And a lot of your brackets may be busted, and that's okay because now it's time to do what's important when it comes to the picking and winning real money. You went up to 5,000 times your cash. Cool. Played with as little as $1. How do you do it? You download the Underdog app. Absolutely free to download. Sign up. Use my promo code HeyNow. All one word. HeyNow. When you do that, you're going to get some bonus entries just for signing up and using that promo code. Plus, it shows that you love me. So do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Download the app today and use promo code HeyNow to score $50 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code HeyNow. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 19 or older and present in Alabama. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-MY-RESET or visit ncpgambling.org. Yeah, baby. Y'all do that. Do that, and I will love you long time. Love you, love you, love you long time. All right, I got to get into the Iran stuff. I'm way backed up, but that's okay. We're going to make this work. And coming up at 1 o'clock, we're going to announce what John Bird will be playing this Friday on John Bird Plays the Guitar. Iran currently, and I just kind of want to set the stage here because there have been a lot of things transpire over the past 24 to 48 hours. Iran currently is ramping up threats as the tide turns against the IRGC. They threatened to completely close the Strait of Hormuz, which, in so many terms they've done. They've threatened to strike energy infrastructure across the region, including in Saudi Arabia. Their colonel, spokesman for Iran's military command headquarters, said that if Iran's fuel infrastructure is attacked, which has been threatened, he says all energy, information technology systems, and infrastructure used by Americans and its allies in the region will be struck. So big talk from the Iranians, but things are changing at a rapid pace. I'm going to give you all that and much more up next. 205-545-9950. All right, Noto Roofing, NOTLroofing.com, NOTOroofing.com. A roofing company, the best of the best. I know that's not really their catchphrase, but I have kind of made it the catchphrase. Best of the best of the best. That's Noto Roofing, man. Nobody beats them. Roof problems suck. I get it. You may know you have them. You may not know you have them. You may just be in a situation where you're like, my roof hadn't been inspected in 5-10 years, boy, or girl. You better get on top of that. No, you don't get on top of it. They get on top of it. They get on top of your roof, inspect it for free with no strings attached, and give you that complimentary roof tune-up. Can't beat it. Get with Noto. If you're a homeowner, you're a business owner, you got a barn, apartments, whatever, get it checked out, man. You got nothing to lose and everything to gain. If you do have problems, they'll help you file the insurance claim and everything else that needs to be done in order to make sure the damage is as minuscule as possible. And I mean the damage to your wallet. So get with Noto, man. These guys are great. Chris and Sammy and Matt and all of them up there, man, dude, they're just knocking out of the park. And they've been such big supporters of this show. So don't go with nobody but Noto. NOTLroofing.com, 205-848-2299. That's 848-2299. Hit them up. Let them know why I sent you. So I told you that Iran, or some official from Iran, is threatening energy, information technology systems, and infrastructure in the region used by America and its allies are going to be struck. They're just saying they're going to go after everybody. The parliament speaker from Iran echoed that threat on X, warning that critical infrastructure, energy, and oil across the region will be irreversibly destroyed and oil prices will remain elevated for a prolonged period if Iran's power plants are struck. UN official warned that Iran is poised to strike plants across the region within days, which would trigger a water crisis affecting Gulf states and affect Israel. So that sounds really bad, right? Sounds really bad. And you're like, well, I thought Iran was kind of down and out. How are they able to do this? How are they able to make those threats? I don't understand. But the important thing to do is to actually pay attention to what's going on and not just concentrate on what's being said by angry Iranian officials. On that same note, as that comes out, Donald Trump says to the press, we are taking a pause on the Iranian strikes on power plants because we and my people are actually talking to the Iranians. We are in discussions that seem to be going well, so we are not going to go after important infrastructure at this time. Over the course of 5 days or whatever it is, we're going to take it slow and see how these talks work out, because that's what this has been about since the beginning. If you recall, the strikes on Iran wasn't the first decision that was made. That wasn't, this is what we're going with. There were discussions after discussion. I mean, from the time Donald Trump got in office, and he was dealing with them in the first term, he said to them, listen, you got to stop the nuclear stuff. I understand that presidents in the past have let you slide and they've catered to you and everything else, but you're not doing that with me. Which is, again, why Iran is making these threats. And it's why I think they genuinely do want to go after electric grids and energy sources and everything else. I think they want to cause problems for everybody in the region. It's part of the desperation. But their main goal is to drive up oil prices. Why? Not just across the globe, but in particular for the U.S., because their goal is to get Donald Trump out of the way as soon as possible. They want to get back to a sense of normalcy. And normalcy for them is leadership in Washington that will play ball and let them do whatever they want to do. That's what they have been used to with both Republican and Democrat administrations, right? especially Democrat administrations. That's what they're used to. And so Donald Trump's got to get out of the way. And they didn't even want to wait for him to just leave office. I mean, the Iranians tried to assassinate the president. That's how bad they want him gone. And so they think that driving up the price of oil might bring them closer to getting Trump out of office or getting a Trump-like candidate out of office politically. Because gas prices being high will, in fact, sway people's votes, right? It will maybe sway their votes for the midterms and let Democrats win, which will hamstring what Donald Trump can and cannot do when it comes to his powers as president. I mean, there'll be constant strife and roadblocks and everything else if Democrats win. You already know this. So that's the Iranian line of thinking, and it's why they're doing this. But Donald Trump comes out, says, hey, we're talking to these individuals, and talks are going well. We want no nuclear stuff. We want your enriched uranium, everything. That's it. That's all we're asking for. And they seemingly are negotiating in good faith, which is something they have not done in the past. Remember, Donald Trump kept coming out and he'd say, we're talking to the Iranians. We're trying to find a middle ground. They're not negotiating in good faith. They act like they're going to do it, then they pull back, and da-da-da. It was just a whole thing, and then that's when we ended up bombing the nuclear bases, and then we ended up ultimately here. Iranian media then comes out and says, there have been no talks. There have been no productive talks whatsoever between us and the U.S. None. Anything. And Trump's like, okay, bud, whatever you say, but we're having talks. We're talking with people. And what ultimately happens in that situation is that a big portion of Iranian leadership and even military leadership in that country now know that somebody is talking to the president, but they don't know who. And so now they don't know who to trust within their own regime because they can't even all get together in the same place at the same time and meet because a mistake. They fear that a missile will be dropped on them and then, another 100, 150, government and military leaders are wiped out. So they're all looking around like, wait a minute, who's the one talking to Washington? Who's the one having these productive talks? Doesn't matter what the Iranian state TV is saying. They're trying to put on a show for their own people. But somebody's talking to Washington. Somebody's talking to Trump's people. And Trump even said that the Iranian counterparts, whoever that may be, and he's been asked by the press, and he says, I'm not going to tell you who it is, because he wants this state of confusion for the leadership within Iran to continue. He says that they allegedly agreed to no nukes after initiating talks and says that we will seize, not only stop their nuclear program, but seize the enriched uranium that they currently have. He said, even if we have to go over there and take it ourselves, we are going to take the uranium that they have enriched that they're using for their nuclear program. Now, just as our media and our fake news here in this country would do, and everybody should expect that, when this happened over the past couple of days and Trump says we're talking to him, and the Iranians are like, or the Iranian state TV is like, no, there's no talks going on, CNN immediately jumps in the mix and says there is no proof whatsoever that Washington and the Trump administration are having productive talks with Iran. There's none whatsoever. And a lot of people, of course, leftists and everybody, and, people that are mad at Trump are like, no, they're not talking. This is just getting worse. And then moments ago, CNN had to air on their airwaves that they can now confirm that talks between Washington and Iranian leadership are in fact happening.
The Situation Room, we're now learning from a senior Iranian source that there has been an outreach between the U.S. and Iran. The source tells CNN that this was initiated by Washington. With us now, CNN military analyst, retired U.S. Air Force Colonel Cedric Leighton, and CNN global affairs analyst Kim Dozier. Kim, what do you make of this development?
The U.S. just blinked. I mean, we already saw it in the series of changing tweets or truths from President Trump. You know, one day he's like, the war's about to end. The next day, we're going to obliterate your energy facilities. And then the next day, we think there are talks.
So she tries to paint it as, oh, this is a bad thing. The U.S. has blinked. But ultimately, they had to confirm after hours and hours of reporting that there were no talks going on. The Iranians are finally coming to CNN and saying, yeah, there actually are talks going on. And as a matter of fact, Donald Trump's team and Iran might be holding peace talks this very week in Pakistan in person. Apparently, Egypt, Pakistan, and Turkey are reportedly passing messages between the U.S. negotiators and Iran's parliament speaker, which seems to possibly be, is not only one of the guys that was putting out some of those threats, but it seems to be one of the guys that are negotiating with Donald Trump's people on bringing it into this. No matter what they say, and listen, there's a lot of propaganda online, a lot of Iranian propaganda, and we dealt with this with Hamas and everything else, but even more so now, the Iranians and Iranian allies, if you will, whether that's China or Russia or whoever, are putting out stuff online day after day after day, trying to convince people in this country that Iran has got the U.S. backed into a corner. And it is the exact opposite. These people have been obliterated, and Trump has all the leverage. He does. Iran's got nowhere to turn. They can sit here and play games with the Strait of Hormuz, but it's only going to last so long. And the president of all people is not going to put up with it. So you're going to see some big moves in the next few days. And I understand, listen, nobody likes this. Nobody wants this to be happening in the first place, but it is a necessary evil. Had to happen. If it didn't, then we were going to be in deep doo-doo in the years to come because we wouldn't have leadership strong enough to address it. And when it had to be addressed, it would have been 10 times worse. But this is what had to happen. We're going to be on the other side of it very soon. People, logical people that think for themselves are going to be able to take a step back and say, you know what? That was the right thing to do. Ultimately, that was what we should have done. So we'll see. Any updates on that, we'll bring them to you. 205-545-9950. More coming up on the line. Talk 99.5. Ernest Financial, retirewithernest.com, retirewithernest.com. That's the place for you to get your retirement in order, get it safe, get it secure, and help it grow. And you do it all for free because Ernest Financial never takes fees from you. They get their fees elsewhere, but they concentrate on making sure your retirement, your 401k, your 403bs, your IRAs, your tax-free, tax-deferred accounts, all of it is in the right spot where it's making the maximum amount of money and that you've got a plan laid out for retirement. So if you're 55 or older and you got over 50K in your retirement, I want you to make this phone call. Not asking you to commit to anything, not asking you to pay anything. I'm just asking you to call my buddy David Ernest and talk to him about what it is that they do and how they do it, how they make you money and how they secure your retirement. And he'll explain it to you, man. He's been doing this for 45 years. He's been doing this longer than I've been alive. He's seen the ups and downs and the all-arounds, and he knows the loopholes and the programs and everything else to make sure your money is exactly where it needs to be to work for you. You want to be able to do those things you've always dreamed of after retirement. You've worked your tail off for all these years. You deserve every single penny that you've earned and you've put back plus some. The way to do that is to call this number, 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-7233. Online, retirewithernest.com. Retirewithernest.com. Still no sign of the gay cardboard Ayatollah. We have still not seen him in person. There have been messages put out allegedly by him, but probably not. Who knows if he's even alive, right? I just want the guy to come out. If he's alive, if he's alive, that's okay. But I want him to come out and, tell his countrymen that he's gay and say, I'm your new Ayatollah. Make Iran fabulous again. Come on, man. You know what they should do? They should elect this Jermaine Brown guy for Jermaine Brown. They should elect him for Ayatollah of Iran. The guy running for governor. You know, the one.
Yes, yeah.
Have you seen one of his latest posts? He was talking about he was at the governor's mansion the other day and took a picture outside on the steps. I can imagine Kay Ivey looking out her bedroom window thinking, what is this jabroni doing here? He said, today I'm standing on the steps of the Alabama governor's mansion, which will be my new home soon once I'm elected governor. Confidence oozing out of this individual. He said, this is the second time I've been inside the governor's mansion in my lifetime. It has 17 bedrooms and is very spacious. We need to bring fun back to Alabama. That's why I will be hosting the biggest public parties ever here at the governor's mansion. Sundays will be soul food day. Mondays are reserved for preparation for the week. Tuesdays will be twerk and taco Tuesdays.
Oh my God.
With the best dancers and bottle girls from across our state pulling up to show us a good time. Water drop emoji, crazy face emoji, and then a sideways smile.
Oh, dang.
Wednesdays will be Working Woman Wednesday, where shots will be on me for all the women with a job or hustle. Thursdays will be Thirsty Thursday for all the fellas who need some Patron Don Julio and want to watch a good game. Fridays, we roll up and smoke one for the team. Saturdays, we worship God through music and word by me.
Oh, my gosh. Man, it's just interesting. He'll throw out good ideas occasionally, and then he's got all this other stuff. So he's definitely he's a good troll.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's funny to follow this guy and see how absurd it is. And, I mean, he's making a push for governor legitimately, but at the same time, I think what you've got here is a guy who is looking to build his social media and
Exactly.
is using the election year. And hey, it's pretty smart. I got to give it to him. He's got a lot of people, including us, talking about him. And he knows. I mean, what's crazy is he talks as if he's already been elected. He put up a poster, and I want you to look at this right here. You see this, John Bird? It says Freaknik 2026. Okay?
Good grief.
At the Alabama governor's mansion is where this party's being hosted. It said, hosted by Alabama future governor, Pastor Jamel Jermaine Brown. He's hosting a party before he's even elected. DJ Ray on the ones and twos, April 20th. VIP only, section reservations available. Dress code is going to be swimwear, sexy, and fly. And so Freaknik 2026 at the Alabama governor's mansion coming up next month in case any of y'all want to attend.